Um, switch my view, and we're gonna so pad thai. The secret is in the sauce. That is, for me, that's the secret of pad thai. That's make or break. So, did you get fish sauce? And if so, what brand?
It's something that's in the cupboard. It's Blue Dragon fish sauce.
Okay, yeah, I had that, but I was lucky enough to go to Chinatown today. I was in London, so I managed to get this brand. And the important thing from a health point of view is just to check the ingredients, and it should just have fish ideally. This one's got 65% anchovy extract, salt, and sugar, but sugar is the last ingredient, so I think that's pretty good. I think the Blue Dragon's pretty good. It does
68% anchovy and then salt.
Okay, great. As long as it doesn't have E625, because you know what that is.
Is that MSG?
Exactly.
No MSG in there. That's cool.
Great. So fish sauce is one key ingredient, and then coconut or palm sugar. Now, palm sugar is the sort of more refined one. The coconut sugar is often made from the blossom. It's a little bit more coffee-like in taste, but it's got loads of minerals, so it's actually quite good. So have you got that? Yeah, fantastic. And then tamarind is really key.
Yeah, tamarind paste. Got it.
Fantastic. So tamarind is what makes or breaks this dish. And there's different qualities of tamarind out there as well. To be honest, I couldn't find the right one in Chinatown. So like you, I've got a paste which says sort of concentrated. Yeah. Now, I found that these are quite variable. Sometimes they just don't taste very natural. If you ever get the chance to go to an Asian store, the best tamarind is in a block like this. It's like a packet. It looks like packet of weed that you get from a dodgy place. It's just brown, and it doesn't have many labels, and it's got the seeds, and you can see the seeds. And what you do is you soak that in warm water. The seeds sort of come off, and you end up with this beautiful like tamarind juice essentially. And then you cook that down. Now we've got a concentrate, so that's going to speed things up, which is good. So we don't have to start with a sauce because we got the concentrate. We're not going to have to spend a lot of time cooking it down. What we are going to start with are the noodles. Ideally, you want to soak them in cold water. So that's what we'll do. If we run out of time, we can always pour a little bit of warm water in there, and that speeds up the soaking process. So I've got thick rice noodles. So there's large, medium, and thin. I find these, they stay a bit sort of, I guess, they got a bit more bite to them, which I like.
Yeah.
So we're going to grab a mixing bowl. And they do expand quite a lot. So, you know, I think go by weight. Mine says 400 grams. So like pasta, 100 grams is probably a decent amount. If you're hungry and you want a bit extra, go 150 grams per person. And that should be good. I'm going to use a little bit of sort of lukewarm water. So not ice cold either.
Yeah.
Now the problem is when they come in these packets like that, they're really hard to sort of disassemble. But it doesn't matter if they break. Just try and keep them as whole as possible. And then, yeah, just make sure they're submerged. We'll just let those soak until we're ready for them. Right.
I've never done that with a cold water bottle. I've always done them with hot water.
Yeah, so it works fine with hot water. Cold, they'll just stay firmer. Hot water, you got to stop them in time, and that's fine. So either way will do.
Yeah, and funny you say that, because whenever I've done them, I've always ended up taking my eye off the ball with them, and then they're overcooked, and
yeah,
you start to stir fry with them. just mush.
Exactly. So if you put boiling water, you literally pour boiling water, you wait a minute till they're soft, and then you quickly run them on the cold water. That should work. Yeah. But this way is the better way, apparently. So we'll try this way first. Do you have a wok?
I haven't got a wok, but I've got what I use as a wok on the Arga, which is just on the Cruise. This is our wok for this Arga.
Okay, great. If you've used it before, so it's worth investing in a wok. Not sort of one of those sort of Western Tefal non-stick ones, but a real proper sort of stainless steel. Yeah. And this was silver at one point, and it just goes black over time, but it becomes seasoned, and then it doesn't stick, and it's got a flavor to itself. And yeah, it's just worth having one for quick stir fries, and it heats up so quickly. I'm going to use my gas stove for it. It does work on induction as well, but it almost becomes red hot on induction. So we want to start warming up our wok or our Le Creuset or frying pan. You can use a skillet even.
We're going pretty hot with this.
Sorry?
We're going pretty hot with this, with the pan. Is it?
No, we want to start off quite sort of medium heat because we're going to start with our onions, then we're going to go on to our carrots. What else did we have? We had some pepper.
Yeah.
And then we've got some garlic, ginger. So ginger and garlic will go in right at the end. We don't want to burn those. They'll go in minced as usual. And then you could throw in some, and then with bean sprouts. You managed to get hold of some bean sprouts?
That's the one thing I haven't got is bean sprouts.
No problem. You can almost make them yourself by soaking beans like mung beans or black-eyed peas. I'm going to post a video about that at some point because it's quite fun to do yourself, and they are so healthy when they're sprouted. They're only little sprouts, but you could use those instead. But I'm using soya bean sprouts. They're very high in water, low in calories, quite good for you, and easy. But they go off very quickly. So it's the kind of thing you got to really buy with intent, and not, you don't always have all of these ingredients. There's a lot of different ingredients to have. So you could substitute with leek, I guess. If you got some leek, could work.
A bit of leek, we'd chop a bit of leek into that could be worth a try.
Yeah. So we're going to start with the onions. So shallots, just roughly chopped, peeled and roughly chopped. So I'm just going to cut them lengthways like this. Can you see all right? Not really. No.
There we go.
Right, this board is going to slip everywhere, so I'm just going to. Oh, and what protein have you got? Prawns or?
Prawns.
Great.
Prawns.
And are they defrosted raw prawns or cooked prawns?
They are defrosted raw prawns.
Fantastic, like mine. I got them from Aldi, I think, and they're just defrosting and pretty much done. Now we want to. At one point, we're going to dry those and also saute them. You can also boil prawns, but it's a bit more boring. It's nicer to saute them. So we should really dry those once we get. Oh, my gas is expired. No, I'm out of gas. That's annoying. No, not. No, back on. Back on. It's a lot of prep, but once we get going, we'll pick up momentum.
Yeah, cool.
So onions or shallots aren't always that traditional in pad thai. I think they add a bit of sweetness and texture. It's quite nice. And as I said, yeah, you can just roughly chop them. So I'm just going just along the length of it. So I've got little sort of half moon slices, and that's absolutely fine. And then we want to put quite a bit of oil in there to start off with, especially with the onions.
what kind of oil we're going in the pan. Is that going to be avocado or something like that?
Absolutely, yeah, avocado. Now, I think in Asia they use a lot of peanut oil, but it's usually quite processed. You know, we are going to be using a fair bit of oil, so you want to use the healthier stuff you've got.
Yeah.
Getting there, last onion. And then straight after the onion, it'll be the carrots going in.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, it could be the leeks. I'm going to hold off on the bean sprouts. They go quite quickly.
So I just chop the leek down quite finely then to sort of bean sprouts.
So the leek, exactly like I just cut this shallot. Again, half moon circles like that. The leek. Yeah. And then you might want to rinse it just before you put it in the pan, or rinse it beforehand. Carrots, I'm actually not going to bother peeling them. Now, traditionally, you would cut them into what you call batons. So little sticks like this, and the Asians do that a lot as well. But it's quite a bit of work. I mean, it's up to you. You can have a go at doing them like that, or again, half moon. So that way we keep sort of everything roughly the same shape.
Yeah.
And it's just an easier cut. So I've just cut a carrot in half, and I'm just going to cut along it into these little half moons, quite as thin as you can, so they cook more evenly. I've got quite a chunky carrot, so I'm just going to do the one carrot. So I'm just going to toss my onions a bit first. Bit of salt going in there. Once the onions are tossed and coated in oil, carrots go in.
Yeah.
And we're just going to layer on the vegetables. Obviously, the carrots they're gonna get some color. We want to be increasing the heat. The more vegetables we add, the more we increase the heat, and the more often we toss it.
Yeah.
Right. Next in line for me are the peppers. So I'm actually just got the one pepper, but you can use two. It'd be a bit nicer.
Have you got your bean sprouts in there for later?
What was the question?
Are your bean sprouts in there yet, or is that they coming in later?
So bean sprouts going in much later, because they will add a lot of moisture, and they would cool the pan down too much. And they don't take. Okay. You can almost eat them raw, so they don't take long to cook at all.
Okay, sure.
So we're thinking, you know, what vegetables take the longest? The onions, you ideally want them really soft and sweet, so they go in first. Carrots are very coarse; they're going to take quite a long time, so they go in next. Leeks, just like the onions, will need a while to cook down. Peppers, that can wait a little bit. Again, that can be almost raw, so I'm just going to hold off on the pepper, but I'm going to slice it all up so it's ready. And I'm just cutting that into strips, so little 5mm strips like this. So you need to see with the pepper, I'm not cooking it, cutting it skin side, because it's quite slippery. So I like to flip it over. Yeah. And then I cut it on the flesh side. It's a lot easier to cut through.
Do you know, when I discovered that a few years ago, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, oh, my knives aren't sharp enough.
Such a revelation.
Yeah.
Right. Then we're going to mince our garlic and our ginger. Did you get hold of any dried prawns by any chance?
No, I
No,
didn't manage those.
it's pretty niche. I only managed to get them because I went to Chinatown. Here they are. So they were actually in the freezer section. So they keep them in the freezer section, which is very weird. I guess they keep them for so long, and so they add really intense flavor to a dish. So about halfway through here, I'm just going to throw them in like that, and they're going to soak up moisture and add flavor to the dish.
Wow. Yeah, I bet they're insane.
Yeah, just salt and shrimp, basically. So they add a lot of flavor. Now, there's a really magical Chinese sauce that I'm obsessed with called XO sauce, and that has dried shrimp in it, and it's just booming with umami. It's got so much flavor, it's off the charts. Right, so while my carrots are cooking, I'm going to dry my prawns. I'm going to just get other things done. So I'm going to lay out some paper towels and really dry my prawns. I don't want any moisture there when I come to fry them, so that I get really a nice sear on them. So they're sort of being packed up here from this little paper.
Okay.
Now you can buy ready cooked prawns, but very often they will have just been boiled in salt water. When you fry them yourself, you can get that caramelization. You can get that much more flavor. So whenever you're working with a wok as well, you either want to have a classic sort of metal wok scraper, or I prefer to have a bamboo scraper, as long as you can sort of scratch the bottom. So all the oil's been soaked up, so I'm going to add some more, just so it doesn't burn. Toss, and you basically sort of, when you're using a wok, you toss and you scrape at the same time. So you toss and flick, and it takes a bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite enjoyable. Right.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love watching people do that on TV.
Yeah, and there's a lot of flames always.
Yeah.
Right, just looking for my mincer. I'm going to mince my ginger and my garlic. How much ginger and garlic? Well, you want to go, quite heavy on the garlic. I'm going to use 4 cloves, actually 4 smallish cloves, so like 2 big ones, and then same amount of ginger in volume. So again, I'm using the microplane just to mince it down. I guess it doesn't yield as much when I'm using the microplane like this in the skin, but garlic's pretty cheap, so I don't feel like I'm wasting that much. It's definitely saving on time. Right. Got my little bin working here.
One of my favorite smells is ginger, freshly chopped ginger.
Oh, that is a glorious smell, isn't it? Yeah, it's so fresh.
Yeah, man.
It's an incredibly healthy root as well, in terms of, it helps you fight infections as well. So I when I'm feeling sick, I'll make a tea of it, a really intense ginger tea. And don't forget, when I went to China, I suddenly caught this bug, and they gave me this super powerful ginger tea, and the next day I was good as gold again. It's incredible.
That's great.
Now, they added a ton of sugar to it as well, but we would add honey here in the UK probably, and then that's double fighting.
Yeah, every morning I start my day with a hot water with lemon and ginger in.
Oh, do you every day? Oh, wow, that must do wonders for you, for your immunity. Yeah.
I hope so. I still get ill occasionally, but it just really helps sort of wake you up and cleanse you, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that.
And I miss it on the days when we don't have it, like if I'm away or something, I really miss it.
Oh, yeah, those dried sort of tea bag sachets you can get of lemon ginger. It's just not the same. The fresh stuff is so much better.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, we always have fresh lemons and ginger on the go.
Yeah. Yeah, lemon is a staple, should be a staple ingredient. Ginger, keeps really well as well. No reason why
Yeah.
shouldn't have that in your pantry. Right, so I got my ginger and garlic minced. I'm just going to keep that to one side till I'm ready for it. I'm still cooking my peppers, my carrots, my onions. That's all sort of cooking down. We're basically trying to soften it. Sorry?
I chopped up the peppers, but I forgot to put them in the pan.
That's okay. No, you were meant to hold back a little bit anyway. So you got your leeks in there. They've been in there for a while, right?
Yeah, they've got it in there now. Yeah,
yeah, good. No, you're doing it right. So prawns are drying as well. They're going to go in pretty soon. In the meantime, we could start making our sauce. So we're gonna basically mix the ingredients and cook it down. Quite straightforward. I'm gonna put in my shrimp at this stage. So a couple of tablespoons of those dried shrimp going in.
I'm gonna look out for those. They sound awesome.
Yeah. They're good in any stir fry. And rice as well, like a really good special fried rice. Oh, delicious.
I bet, yeah.
Right. Let's see. Is this on? No. Okay. So, yeah, the pad thai sauce, it's tamarind, so it's equal quantity of tamarind and sugar, but in terms of liquid. So the tamarind, we need to read the instructions on your thing. It says use 3 times strength to use. Oh, wow. English isn't very good on this one. Country of origin, India. I love it. So I'm just going to taste it and see. I'm going to take a cupful of warm water. And I'm going to dissolve my tamarind in that. So let's see. Woo, that's intense. Wow. Yeah. So I think a tablespoon should probably do it.
A tablespoon into the bowl, or should I be dissolving that in water as well?
Yeah. Dissolve a tablespoon of tamarind in roughly a cup of water.
Okay.
And then, as I said, you're going to add the same amount of sugar. Coconut sugar. That's going in. Boom.
Into the same cup.
Into the same pot. Yeah, all together. And you want it simmering, you don't want it boiling mad, you don't want it sticking, but we want to start cooking that down. And that should already taste really good if you got the balance right. It's going to get better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, good. And then we're going to add fish sauce. Now fish sauce, we have to be careful. I'm going to do it a little bit by eye. I would say adding maybe two tablespoons to start off, and then we taste it and see. So 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Now the fish sauce is anchovy, so it's really intense, but it's incredible umami. But you shouldn't be able to taste the fish. Yeah, I think I can add 1 more tablespoon, so 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. That'll do. And we're going to cook that down until it's a sort of thick glaze.
Okay.
Okay. So that's cooking down. Vegetables still cooking down. Right. Actually, my veg is quite soft. So at this stage, I'm going to take them. I'm going to add my ginger and garlic. So my ginger and garlic is going onto my soft veg. And I'm going to give that a quick toss. My flame is a bit low, which is annoying. Should be more oomphy like that. See if I can wedge my ginger in there. Probably breaking all sorts of health and safety protocol.
Don't worry about
that. Only blow myself up. Right, I can already smell the ginger and garlic, and that's good enough. We don't need to go for ages on that. So all of that comes out. And then I clear my wok. It doesn't have to be, whatever you do, don't wash it. Don't wash your pan. You're literally just scraping everything out, putting it back on the heat. Right, my mixer's bubbling. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit. Now, you might have noticed I had old Liam Perrin's Worcester sauce. Why did I have that? Because it has a number of secret ingredients. One being anchovies, aka fish sauce.
Yeah.
So, you know, whenever you're cooking with this professionally, you've got to be really careful. This has got some serious allergens in there, which it's easy to miss. And the other secret ingredient is tamarind. So this has got two, actually, and it's got sugar. So this essentially is what goes into pad thai with a few other things. But this is why it tastes so good, because it's got the sweet, the sour, and the umami.
Right, of course.
Right, once the wok is hot enough, we're gonna add some oil again, and then we're gonna drop our prawns in there. Hopefully they're nice and dry, yeah. And really nice hot wok and full heat, boom. So you want to get some salt on there as well. So don't start tossing them straight away. You do want to spread them out and do one side first, really hard, and then flip them once. What else? Oh, my bean sprouts. They didn't go in. So they're going to have to go on top of the prawns. I forgot about those. I should have added those to my veg, my bean sprouts. Let's see if I can supercharge my wok on my... Yeah, look at that. Straight away, the wok is going... on the old induction. I'm getting a lot more heat. There's something wrong with my gas stove. So prawns, they can overcook and they can go a little bit chewy. It's rare that they go dry. If you ever have dried prawns, it means that whoever cooked them a long time before, then they reheated them again. But you do want to try and get as good a sear on them as possible for that flavor. And you should be able to smell in the air once they start caramelizing really nicely. And they'll go from gray to pink, and that's a good sign that they're cooked. So I did about, a couple of minutes on one side, and then I flipped them, and now I'm tossing them. And they smell delicious. I'm just going to keep scraping the bottom because I don't want that to stick and burn, but I do want that flavor in my dish at the end. Oh yeah, that's smelling good. Little taste. Okay, they can go on top of the veg. And then I'm going to throw my bean sprouts in there. So as I said, they're going to release a lot of moisture. So I'm really going to cook that down. And then I'm going to get my eggs ready. Let's check on our noodles. How are our noodles doing? They should be Soft, man.
Yeah,
Ish.
yeah, well, good, yeah.
Are they really soft or are they still a bit hard?
They've still got a bit of grain to them. Yeah, a bit of texture.
Yeah, mine are a little bit too hard. They might need longer, or we might have to go down the hot water route. Well, so let's keep an eye on our reduction. Don't want that burning. That's still good. So tasty. How you doing? What are you cooking there, Stephen?
Yes, the prawns have got a lot of colour on them. They're looking good.
Okay, great. I'm just waiting for these bean sprouts to cook down.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I need to grab something from my other kitchen.
No worries.
And I'm back. All right, bean sprouts still cooking, but they are getting softer, and you can see the amount of steam that's coming off. That's them just cooking down. Right, have a little cracked egg issue here. I'm running out of space. A lot of ingredients in this dish.
Yeah. You got such a small space there as well.
Right, I need to re-engineer my space here to work more efficiently. Is out of control. There we go. Getting there. That's also going to get cracked in there. So I got my eggs ready to go.
How many eggs? One or two?
I'm using 2 eggs.
Right.
Right, now we're winning. Right, bean sprouts are done. So they're coming off into my bowl with the rest of the ingredients.
Can I get the prawns off as well?
The prawns, yeah, they should have come off a while ago.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mention that. Yeah, basically, once they turn orange, that's a good indicator that they're done.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So again, in the wok, we're going to add more oil and we're going to cook our eggs. So these are basically really quick scrambled eggs is all you want to do. So pretty high heat. And then break up your eggs. Now, some people just crack them straight in there, and that's okay as well. And then using your spatula, you're just scraping back and forth, using the sides of the hot wok to cook them through. I'm going to add some salt as well. Oh, this wok is not happy. This gas, it's just slow.
Failing.
Go on here. There we go. So you just want to scrape off, and the egg is going to collect some of the yumminess that's stuck to your pan. It's going to stick to the egg, and that's great. So it's going to carry all that flavor. So you really want to scrape the pan so that the egg doesn't burn, and so that it collects all those little yummies. And you want to cook it until it's dry. So we're not trying to get baveux here. We want really dry eggs and nicely broken up. Let that fry a little bit longer.
Yeah, mine's done.
It's done, great. Right, now, check on your tamarind sauce, because mine is, I think, done. You got to make sure that it doesn't burn. Mine's sort of, it's bubbled up. Even though it's still bubbling, it doesn't mean that it's, so it was rising up, and now it's really thick. So that's what I want. See? It's like a syrup.
Put that again. Yeah, mine's still got.
Well, I think when it cools down, it'll be even more syrupy. It's quite, so it's still a little bit runny, but not far off. Right. I need to dry out my eggs a bit more. How are your eggs? Are they done? Once your eggs are done, you take them out of the pan.
Yeah, into the same bowl as everything else.
Yeah, my bowl's too small, so I'm going to transfer to a bigger bowl. That's all done. Well, actually, that's everything in there, isn't it? I've got everything in there. I'm just going to leave it in there now.
Cool.
We'll turn down the heat, put it down on this. Where are you at? How you got everything in your bowl, right? Except the noodles. Now, my noodles aren't soft, and they do have to be soft. So we're going to have to go down the boiling route.
So I can just drain my noodles then, I guess.
You're going to drain your noodles, yeah? But do you have a kettle ready?
Yeah.
So just pour some boiling water over them. I'm going to just boil some water here real fast and then get them covered.
I'll just keep them in the colander and just pour the boiling water over them.
No, put them in a bowl.
Back in the bowl,
a little bit. Did you get the thick ones like me, or which size have you got?
No, the thin ones.
You got the thin ones. So yeah, you maybe pouring them through the colander might be enough for you. My thick ones, I need to put them in a pan or a bowl.
Right.
Once that's boiling, I'm going to drop them in there. Not too much washing up today. Been cleaning as I go.
Good. Yeah, there was a lot of washing up after last week.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there? Right, and then we're going to need some garnish at the end. So we need spring onions. We need fresh lime juice. We're going to need some soy sauce just to adjust the seasoning. And we're going to need some crushed peanuts. Right. Water, boil, God damn it. So I didn't get hold of any peanuts. I'm going to have to, I've got some monkey nuts. I'm going to have to shell them real fast.
Okay.
And some coriander. If you got coriander, it's quite nice to put a few sprigs on top. It is, you know, it's traditional as well. Right, that's boiling. So in the noodles go. And yeah, as I said, it shouldn't take long at all in the boiling water. So I'm going to get ready to drain them real fast. Yeah, they just come back up to the boil and they're pretty much done. Off the heat. So I'm going to drain that. Now, if they're soft, you want to quickly cool them down in cold water. That would stop the cooking process. And then, especially the thin ones, you want to just stop that cooking process. And then you want to pour them completely dry. So I've completely drained them. And I'm going to pour them into my main wok with everything in there.
So everything into the wok now, yeah?
Everything into the wok. But before I mix, I'm going to add my glaze. So just got to clear some space here again. I think this gas stove has just let me down today. Just taking up so much space. So I'm going to add my glaze on top of my noodles. So a couple of tablespoons. You might not need the whole glaze. Start off with a little bit, mix that in, and then as you heat it up, toss everything together. So maybe you need some tongs here.
Yep.
Some tongs are quite handy. I've got a lot in my wok. I mean, this is 2 or 3 portions worth. So again, Chinese would toss it. The Asians, sorry, this is a Thai dish, to toss and scrape at the same time. Okay, now comes the taste. Should really be using chopsticks, sorry. Needs soy sauce. Needs that saltiness. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. And it also needs that acidity from the lime juice. So I'm going to add, I mean, it's got the tamarind, but it just needs a bit more. And so lime juice will really bring out some flavor. So I'm going to start with half a lime and see where that gets me. A little toss through. That lime has made all the difference. Yum.
So just about half a lime, you reckon?
Well, it depends how juicy your limes are. My limes are really juicy at the moment. Start off with half. If it needs a bit more acidity, then add another half. I don't think you'll need more than a whole lime. Right, I'm going to move this thing out of the way. It's annoying me. There we go. And, you know, if it needs more flavor, you could still add more of your special glaze. I'm going to add it all in. Why not? I don't know what else to use it for. That's gone really thick. Look at that. It's like treacle.
Superb, yeah.
That's what you want because, you know, there's still a lot of moisture in our mixture. But by having a thick sauce, that's going to help bind it all together. Should be bursting with flavor. Oh yeah. Bit more salt. Even though I've added soy sauce, but my soy sauce isn't super. It's quite aromatic, which is quite nice. All right, let's get my peanuts out. You want quite a lot of peanuts. Just garnish at the end, really, with the peanuts. They add. I mean, the Thais love peanuts. You can substitute for cashews if you like. Now, roasted peanuts are actually really healthy. Nuts are actually peanuts in particular, a legume, so like beans, and so they're high in protein, high in fiber, high in, you know, good fats. They're actually remarkably healthy. The problem is, you know, Americans get most of their polyphenols from peanut butter, but the problem is that peanut butter in America is full of sugar as well and salt. We're lucky here in the UK, we get some really good natural ones. Have you ever tried that Mani Life?
Not sure I have, but look out for it.
Yeah, look out for it. It's a small brand. It's so good. They've got loads of awards. Mani Life peanut butter. Love it. How's yours tasting? Does it need something else?
Well, let me have a little try. One sec. Let me check it again.
So I'm just getting my garnishes ready here. How is it?
Yeah, it needs a little bit of something. We need a bit more the coconut aminos.
So it'll either need soy sauce. If you've added all your mixture, it'll either need soy sauce, salt, or lime juice.
Yeah.
So if in doubt, add all three in a small amount. All right. Get my dish ready. Mine's really dark because my tamarind was very dark. Usually the tamarind paste, if you buy the packet, like I mentioned, that's usually a bit sort of more red. Tamarind naturally is red, but the paste that I had was really dark. And this is what I was saying, that the quality of the tamarind you use makes or breaks this dish, because we're using such a large amount of tamarind that you really want good quality. I still prefer the packet to the concentrate.
Yeah.
Right, so my peanuts here, and then some chopped spring onion going on next. So spring onion is always nice to cut them at a really thin angle. So really thin slices, but angular. It's quite a nice way of eating them as well, texture-wise. Rather than just round circles. So yeah, keep adding lime juice, soy, or I mean, you can cheat if you want. If you got some sweet chili sauce, that adds a ton of flavor as well, and adds more sweetness if your tamarind paste isn't sweet enough. But that also has a ton of sugar, so we're trying to keep it relatively healthy. Yeah. So usually the lime juice makes a big difference, I find. So, you know, very often it's served with like a wedge of lime. You'll see in, you know, some Thai places, they'll serve it with a wedge of lime. Oh, coriander is the last ingredient. So fresh coriander on top there. And that looks like Wagamamas right there.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the colours on those. Right. Let's,
Now, the thing about these rice noodles, yeah, they're made of rice. I mean, they're quite easy to digest. So they're not, you know, calorie wise, they're not great, but they're easy to digest. They're not like wheat that's gonna cause you issues. And they soak up the flavor of all these other lovely dishes. Now you can buy soybean noodles that I've mentioned before. You can buy mung bean noodles and substitute, but the rice noodles are the traditional noodle for pad thai. Are you plating up?
yeah, I am.
Oh, nice. Peanuts.
And, yeah.
Haven't had pad thai in ages. And that's going to do me, I mean, that's like 3 meals or 4 right there. It's really filling. Now, my noodles are still a little bit under, actually. So once they cool down, they'll be good to reheat. The thinner ones, I don't know how good they'll be to reheat, but you can always add some more fresh ones or crunchy vegetables and reheat them that way.
Yeah, sure.
Or do you think you've just got enough for tonight? For dinner?
Enough for tonight, a little bit left over.
Okay, great.
Maybe somebody's lunch. Oh, yeah.
Now see?
Yeah. Try and get the camera on.
Oh, very nice. I like the little bowls. Good way of presenting it. I'm trying to see you bigger. There you go. Yeah. Nice. Coriander. All right. Enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll do.
Another week. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.
Thanks, Greg. See you later.